The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Bass in your face. Bass in your face.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit, I'm sorry, it's Latina Diaspora. I'm sorry. Welcome to another episode of Latina Diaspora. First of all, I just want to say welcome and thank you very much for stopping by. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Also, the subscriber mode has been enabled for the first 5 minutes. Meaning, if you're not a subscriber and if you wish to enter a comment in the chat, you will need to subscribe to the channel. I also have my main channel, which is Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. And you're more than welcome to subscribe to that channel as well. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who've already subscribed to the channel. Whether you've been there from the very beginning or just recently joined, I really appreciate your love and continued support. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media, as well as those who allow me to enter into your devices and those who watch from the clouds, even the haters. So, what I'm going to ask you to do, if you have not done so already, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set all bell notifications to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. So as you can see by the thumbnail tonight, the topic will be misconceptions. And basically, what are misconceptions are those who have an erroneous view regarding a person, place, or thing. But before we get into the main topic, we're going to have another episode of In My Words. Okay. First of all, let me just say congratulations on Mohan Mamdani. He's been elected mayor of the city of New York. Okay. So, as of January the 1st, he will become the city next chief executive. So we shall see what he can accomplish and what he will accomplish. Now, in truth, I do not know a great deal about him. What I do know is that he is the youngest person to become mayor at age 34. Also, he is the first person of Muslim, who's a Muslim, to become the city chief executive. Now, of course, he campaigned on certain things, among them free bus rides, free the rent, and basic, and that millionaires should pay their fair share of taxes, and a rather progressive agenda. With all due respect, the first thing that probably is going to end up being sacrificed in the altar of, of reality is the free bus rides. I don't think it's going to happen. First of all, it's going to take millions, billions of dollars to make that a reality, and I don't see the MTA agreeing uh, to that goal. As far as raising rent is concerned, um, time will tell whether or not he succeeds. One thing we have to bear in mind is we have to make a distinction between the big landlords and the small mom and pops that own perhaps maybe 4 or 5 apartments and things of that nature. So that we will see what what will occur. One thing is a sad state of the affair is that we have municipal employees residing in shelters. And there are many reasons behind that. Okay. And many times it's not because of a responsibility, it's just that it's extremely expensive to rent an apartment here in New York. Unfortunately, here in New York City, affordable rent is not a reality. Not when you have to pay $2,000 or $3,000 a month for rent. Okay. And people think that making 50,000 a year in New York, it's a lot of money. $50,000 a year is great if you're living, say, in Montana or North Dakota or South Dakota, or even some places in the South. In New York, $50,000 a year technically makes you part of the working poor, and that's the reality. Okay. So what I think you should be focusing on is trying to create affordable housing and geared towards municipal employees, particularly since in light of the fact that at least for the first 2 years, you must reside within the confines of New York City. So if we're going to compel people to live within the confines of New York City, then the city should try to provide housing that's affordable. Okay, that within the range means of a person making $50,000 a year or even $40,000 a year. So we shall see what will actually become reality. One thing we always must bear in mind is that as we're getting close to the holidays, that is Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and of course Three Kings Day. Well, this is a happy time for many people because they're with their families, they're with their loved ones, they are enjoying company, they're breaking bread, they're eating good food, they're dancing with music. One thing we have to bear in mind that it is not a happy time for all. There are people who are in a state of depression uh, due to the fact that they have lost loved ones, due to the fact that someone has lost their livelihood, or due to the fact that they're dealing with medical illness and things of that nature. Also, dealing with depression and other mental health concerns. And unfortunately, um, people think about self deletion, and those cases of thoughts of self deletion go up during the holidays. So if you see someone that appears to be down, that appears to be depressed, be patient with them and do not judge them. Just try to reach out to them, let them know they're not alone, And of course, by all means, pray for them that whatever burdens that they're carrying, that they're able to let go. So, with that being said, we're going to get into the main topic. Now, before I continue, let me just state for the record that the link to join the panel has been pinned. Should anyone wishes to hit that link and opine regarding the topic at hand, they may do so. Let me make this perfectly clear. If I never see you before, if I never heard from you before, I will insist that you come up in the backstage to make sure that no one tries to flash any pornographic images, which would cause the people of YouTube to take down the stream. Once I see that you're not going to do that, I'm going to let you on the panel. Now, what brings about misconceptions? Misconceptions are fed because of false beliefs regarding certain groups or certain people or certain religious affiliations, things of that nature. Let me just give you a perfectly case in mind. When it comes to Muslims, unfortunately, there is a lot of misinformation that's out there because people do not bother to, to do research and honestly ask those who are into Islam, what is it about Islam that they find attractive? What is it that makes it in Islam an acceptable way of life? I'm not a Muslim. I have no intention of becoming a Muslim. This is not meant to be any form of disrespect. It's just that I embrace Christianity. I'm a Christian. I intend to stay a Christian until the day that I depart and go to my final destination. But unfortunately, when people think of Muslims, they think about the extreme Muslims, which there's a few that do commit crimes in the name of Islam, and that's the image that people have regarding Muslims. I'm not going to claim that I know a lot about them, but what I do know is they do believe in one God, which they call Allah. I also understand that they read from their book, which is the Quran. I never read a Quran. I have no interest in reading Quran, but that is their holy book. My understanding is that they pray 5 times a day, and that once in their life they must go and make a pilgrimage to the city of Mecca. That is the extent that I understand regarding Islam. If there's any Muslims there, if I say anything that's inaccurate, please correct me. And of course, Muslims are not the only ones that are misunderstood. People have misconceptions regarding Latinos. Okay, people view Latinos basically as people who are undocumented, people who are criminals, people who commit crimes, and what have you. While there are some Latinos that unfortunately do commit crimes, not all of them are criminals. Not all of them are, not all of them are drug dealers, and not all of them are rapists. The majority of them are hardworking people. They're people that are proud of their respective ethnicities and their ethnic groups and their countries and things of that nature. And what they by By their being present, they add certain flavor to our web of society. Another group that has actually suffered from misconceptions is African Americans, particularly African American women. If you take a look at social media, they are portrayed as gold diggers. They are portrayed as being masculine. They are portrayed as being promiscuous and having a whole bunch of children by a whole bunch of baby daddies. Well, unfortunately, there are some people that make bad choices regarding relationships and consent and things of that nature. Um, Many of the African American women that I have actually had the privilege to know, there are people of our quality, there are people of morals, there are people that have their own identity, and um, they have their philosophies and things of that nature. Now, the last thing that I'm going to talk about when it comes to misconceptions is regarding the mayor elect, Soham Mamdani. Now, lately here on TikTok, there's been a whole like well, video after video of which portraying what New York City is going to look like. Basically, if you take a look, um, the impression is that Mandani is going to make New York more like Mecca. That the train's announcements are going to be basically announcing the parade 5 times a day. The police are going to be wearing, you know, getting around the city on camels, and unfortunately, there is a lot of negative stereotypes that's been addressed towards Mandani. Also, there is concern regarding some of the controversial things that he said in the past. Okay, first of all, let's make this perfectly clear. I would say 99.9999% of the people in politics have said something to upset somebody in some way. Okay, and just because a person may have said something controversial in the past, it does not necessarily mean that the person still holds those beliefs today. People are allowed to to adapt. People are allowed to reconsider certain things, and people are allowed to change their point of view after they receive um, new information, new insights, and things of that nature. Now, what type of bear is Soham Mandani going to be? I don't know. Okay. But I think he should be given the opportunity to try to uh, implement his plans, and then it's going to be up to us, the New Yorkers, that's going to make a determination whether or not he's been successful or not. It's not going to okay, and you should not judge him because he is a Muslim. You should not judge him because he prays and has a different a religious system than you have. Okay. You should I mean, if you're going to make an assessment, it should be on what he has done or what he has failed to do. That is a more mature, accurate assessment. And unfortunately, the one that started creating this narrative, this stereotype was Andrew Cuomo. Okay, and the more I think about it, the more I'm glad he didn't become mayor. But unfortunately, when you are not able to stand behind your record, when you're not able to articulate and give a concrete reason why people should consider you, people are going to go negative. That is the reality. Now, I have said this before, and I'm going to say again, you cannot control what people say or do. You control what's going to be your response. Okay. And towards the end of the campaign, Andrew Cuomo has continued to make light of the fact that he's a Muslim, made light of the fact of 9/11, of which I believe Mandani was 9 years old. So you're going to hold him responsible as a kid for a group of Muslim extremists that decided to inflict terror and kill thousands of Americans. I mean, it is sad that there are people that will paint a broad brush towards a group of people and think all Muslims are the same. They think all Muslims are terrorists. No. Like I said, I don't know a great deal of Islam, and I'm not going to claim that I know a great deal of Islam. But for what I do know and what I do understand is that yes, they have they're proud of their beliefs. They're proud. They're thinking that being a Muslim is the correct way to go, the correct way to live one's life. Okay, and that's perfectly fine. I happen to disagree. Okay, and no disrespect towards those who are followers of Islam. Muhammad didn't die on the cross for my sins. Buddha did not cry on the cross for my sins. The one who died on the cross for my sins was named as Jesus. That's why I'm a Christian. Okay. And the difference is, I mean, you try to find the grave where Jesus was buried, you're not going to find his body. Um, you may find the body of Muhammad or the grave of Muhammad. That's the difference. And but this is in no way to show any disrespect regarding Muslims. It's just that that's a different belief system, and they believe that by following the teachings of Muhammad, that they're doing right. I respectfully disagree, but yet they have the right to live their lives as they see fit, as long as they don't try to impose their views on anyone. And I'm gonna state the following: anyone has the right to live their life as they see fit. What is a problem is that when they try to impose their views on others, that's when it becomes a problem. And unfortunately, um, with all the anti-Muslim hysteria and all the anti-Muslim videos that's shown on TikTok regarding the mayor-elect and how New York is supposed to be under a Muslim mayor, it does, unfortunately, it enforces the fact that this country has had a long history not dealing with people who are different very well. And this goes back 400 years, going back the time when the first group of so-called indentured servants came to the United States from Africa. And we all know what happened. Also, our Constitution, a black person was considered three-fifths of a human being. That's the reality. Okay. And that is the sad part of American history, where we must be mindful. If we ever go to learn to embrace everybody, regardless of their religious, political, ethnic, and whatever beliefs that they may hold or upbringing, the only way we're going to accept people as people is that we can get past all the misconceptions that people have regarding others. And if you really want to get past the misconceptions, do your time and study. And oh, better yet, ask questions. Why did you believe what you believe? And not in a way, no, that's confrontational, but simply as a way of seeking knowledge. Most people will share with you, you know, if you approach them in a proper manner, why they believe what they believe. Now, before I go, let me just state that I will be live tomorrow night at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time on my main channel, where I will have another episode of Open Discussion. Now, for those of you who do not know what open discussion is, I will share my views regarding multiple topics. You, the audience, will have an opportunity to opine and express your point of view. You can also recommend anything that I will topics we discuss, and I will do my best to comply. Certain things, if I don't know, I will be transparent. And of course, I will not be entering into the topic regarding Israel and Hamas for reasons why I alluded to. It is suffice to say that I don't agree with everything that the Israeli government has done, and I definitely don't agree with what Hamas done in dealing with Israel, with the Israelis. Okay, you don't pay evil for evil. And I think Gandhi said it very well when he said, "An eye for an eye make the whole world go blind." So, and with that, I'm gonna wrap this up. And of course, play back in. Please do your thing. You're more than welcome any comments you wish. You can share if you wish. And please spread the word regarding this channel. With that being said, I'm going to end the same way that I always end. We must do everything possible to avoid the presence of the mentally and intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by the stupidity and acid insanity. And of course, whatever you say and do to the glory of God. And with that being said, thank you very much for your patience. Thank you very much for your love and your understanding. Please subscribe if you have not done so. And I'll see you next time. Take care, stay blessed, and peace.
Be strong.